Hello and welcome everybody to this episode of our Leadership Power Paradigms webinars. This is Bill Thomas. I am your host and your presenter for today's episode. And as is our custom, we'll wait a few more seconds before we begin this week's episode of the Leadership Power Paradigms. And as we do await that, want to make sure that you're ready with pencil and paper, to take some notes. And I'm going to get our screen going here. And here we go. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of the Leadership Power Paradigms webinar series. This is Bill Thomas. I am your host and presenter for today's episode. During these next 14 or so minutes, we are going to look into how your leadership power energizes your defining, constructing, and employing of the essentials of pursuing your strategic intent and achieving better organizational results. So here we go. Instead of looking at putting together some specific strategy, we need to know what our tactical or competitive advantage has to be. You must understand that your tactics are an arrangement of your organizational resources. Later on, we'll see a short list of those resources. However, for now, we need to learn that every tactic could and should be evolved in terms of its potential influence, its possible intentions, and its immediate impact. As Professors Hamel and Prahala suggest in their strategic intent article, it is management's, or actually leadership's, duty to fully engage, comprehensively empower, and thoroughly encourage their people, their actions, and their resource allocations into the pursuit and achievement of a strategic intent. While the professors advocate an active management involvement, you need to know that only your leadership power will enable you to perform all of these tasks. Before you can ensure or be certain that your organization is focused on the essence of winning, or that people are being motivated through their understanding of the value of your strategic target, your leadership must help everyone to explore, examine, and execute on the right kinds or most effective types of things. And those things may include such items as ideas that help people envision solutions and make good decisions, instructions that guide and change people's behaviors, or innovative opportunities which tap into and expand the creativity of your people. As we explained earlier, your tactics, that is, the arrangements of all the resources listed at the bottom of this slide, your own resourcefulness, or what we might call your own tactical leadership communications, actions, and strategies, must proactively evolve its influence of, rigorously energize your intentions with, and definitively enrich your impacts upon the people, knowledge, money, systems, and other resources that you work with each and every day. Wise leaders always go out to where the land is most fertile, where its soil is likely to yield the best, most delicious fruit. Those leaders look for places where they can diversify and increase their chances for harvesting more than one type of food. They realize that planting 7 different seeds are more likely to produce at least 4 or 5 lovely harvests. These 7 fields of focus are noble purposes, creation, service, righteousness, faith, leadership of or leadership on, and time types. Before we can discuss this idea called leadership power, we had better quickly review what energy is. We now know that our understanding of the biological processes occurring within an organism or an ecological niche depends on our acceptance of the fact that those biologic processes are organized around information. It is those information sources, absorptions, and exchanges which form and sustain the biological or life giving, life sustaining, and life regenerating forces which we find at work in all socially based activities, which are those actions which involve or occur between two or more people, or society's ecological niches, which are a sector or areas of a greater environment, and our social ecosystems, which tend to be self contained units within one part of a larger environment. This example diagram of the flows of information, knowledge, and various forms of data provides us with a tiny view of an ecosystem or an organization's interactions with its greater environment and with its own socially based actors, such as its internal accounting and manufacturing or production systems. If you have not yet done so for your own organizational situation, you may wish to map out and diagram the various flows of information for your own organization too. Once you see that your power really is, you will want what your power really is, you will want to effectively exercise your leadership power and use it to channel, amplify, magnify, and enhance your social energies, human capital, your cultural strengths, optimization opportunities, and catalytic agencies throughout your organization. In a nutshell, these three elements represent areas of your actual power as a professional, as an individual person, or as a leader. All three are in your possession at this very moment, and yet all three can be greatly expanded, extended, and improved through education, coaching, and mentoring, and even meditation. In my experiences of working with all types of leaders, I have found that most leaders invest very little time, attention, or money into their own development and strengthening of their power elements. How about you? When it comes to investing your resources into building up your power, are you the same as most leaders? There are important reasons for using the power of your leadership abilities, strengths, talents, and insights. Every leader will need to involve themselves in making inroads and opening up pathways to discover new solutions or better opportunities for their challenges. You'll want to continuously and robustly produce improvements, and you have to devote your attention to shaping innovations, inventions, and investigations into the boundaries of your frontiers. The short answer to this question is this: it's whenever you communicate information like meanings for the work and contributions or impacts of your people, instructions that help people grow more proficient and confident in their abilities, ideas that solicit additional suggestions from your people, inspirational messages that encourage or edify and build up feelings of commitment, wellness, or worthiness in your people, Insightful findings which influence your people to develop richer, more practical innovations and creative solutions. In every human action, there are four dimensions: an action on, which is physical, an action with, which is intellectual or mental, an action for, which is spiritual or emotional, and an action towards, which is developmental or capacity building in nature. For example, you can choose any one or more of these aspects of action to better create and make room for more valuable individual or team contributions to your organization, or sustain employee enthusiasm by providing operational definitions which add greater value and higher quality to their working experiences. I hope you learned some strategies, processes, and practices you can use to better define, assemble, and construct essential elements for transforming your strategic intent into a tangible reality. Also, you hopefully might have seen how to effectively employ your leadership power in the pursuit and prosecution of all the tactical evolutions discussed in the strategic intent article, and which are absolutely required to help you achieve your organizational performance goals and objectives. This ends today's lesson. You are looking at the catalog of materials, training, and coaching support, which are featured in my Leadership Power Paradigms Producer Tools program. You can see that this program is designed to dramatically improve your leadership performances and your leadership strengths to comprehensively empower the achievements of your people. Right now, this program is available to you at my lowest possible price. So I urge you to visit the webpage at www.one-im.com/LPP-tools, or you can click on the Enroll and Get Started Now button that you see on the right side of your screen. And if you like what you read on that page, go ahead and get going now. Don't forget, this is my famous no questions asked, no risk to you 30-day money back guarantee for this program. So you really have nothing to lose by enrolling now in this awesome educational program. And as you look through that, and I hope that you take advantage of this, the lowest possible price. You can be looking at, actually, when you click on the button there, the Enroll and Get Started button, it will take you to a new tab or a new browser window, so no problems there. And as you're looking at that, I'm going to run back over to our control panel and send you the links for our two bonus gifts for attending this webinar. The first gift is our 5 Leadership Uplifter Tasks infographic, which is a PDF document. I strongly urge you and encourage you to download that and print it out, put it on your desk, and use it every day as you go through your various leadership responsibilities and duties. And of course, the second gift is our 8-page Words with Wisdom paper, which is an 8-page PDF document as well. Both of these are PDFs, so you can download that and read it at your leisure. It contains a number of ideas, tips, strategies, and principles that we covered both in this episode of our Leadership Power Paradigms webinar, as well as in some of our previous ones as well. And both of those are our bonus gifts to you. I also included the foundational text, which is the strategic intent article, a link to the strategic intent article, and on that, why you can read that entire article for yourself, so that you've got some context as to what I was talking about when I was talking to you about it, and what strategic intent means, and how other successful organizations have gone through the process of pursuing and prosecuting their strategic intent, and have reaped some great rewards as a result of it as well. And I have a special note for those of you who are watching this webinar on the replay recording. If you are, there's a question box on the right-hand side. I strongly encourage you to also type in your question or your comment about what I covered in this episode, or what's in the strategic intent article, or anything to do with leadership. That doesn't really matter. And it will automatically email, when you press the email button, it will email that question or comment to me. And I always respond to all the questions and comments that people email to me from this webinar panel of mine. And if you'd like me to further discuss that with you, I can, and I will, and I happily will, and I'll do it for free. So you won't have to worry about somebody trying to sell you something. I won't try to sell you anything. But you can include your phone number if you're located in Canada or in the United States. Please include your phone number, and I will give you a call. Or if you're located outside of Canada or the United States, then I strongly encourage you to include your Skype ID. Skype is something that I love to use with all of my clients. It's a very powerful tool because it allows us to not only speak together, but I can share my desktop and show you some of the, sometimes I have mind maps and concept maps that I can share with people. I always will share any papers or articles or little mini books that I have that I think that might help you to better understand something that we discussed in our conversation. So Skype is a pretty powerful tool. And even if you're located in Canada and the US, and you were thinking of actually including just your phone number, I would encourage you also to include your Skype ID, and that way we can have a wonderful conversation that way too, okay? So I'm just looking at this point in time. I don't see any additional questions or comments that I can answer for the people here looking at this live. But again, as I say, everybody gets a link to the replay recording. And if something comes into your mind, then I do encourage you to type it out, and it'll be automatically emailed to me. And you don't have to give me your email address or your name or anything, because you had to use that to even register or sign in to this webinar episode. So this is Bill Thomas, and I say God bless each and every one of you. I wish you Godspeed, and I wish you all the very best of success in all of your leadership endeavors, and thank you for attending this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your presenter and host. I say take care and best of success to you all.